So over to you, Sandy. Whenever I go to Jakarta, I sometimes hear ASEAN is Indonesia, and Indonesia has now become sort of an emerging market star and sees itself in various contexts. Sometimes I hear Indonesia wants to be the next BRIC. Sometimes Indonesia wants to be the leader of ASEAN. One thing that we all recognize that ASEAN without Indonesia doesn't have a strategic weight. So, but share with us perspective of how does Indonesia see ASEAN moving forward, and what does it want to achieve from it?
Well, if you look into the attendance of the Indonesian delegates into ASEAN 100 Leadership Forum, we have not been leaders. Indonesia is basically half of ASEAN, but it needs to, basically show that to lead also needs to inspire actions. But first of all, I want to congratulate Dato and Serge. This is by far probably one of the best ASEAN 100 Leadership Forum in terms of content and deliberations. So much so that I was planning to wear the traditional local outfit, which I have from 8 years ago. I was bigger, not in terms of business, but body-wise. So it was oversized. So I asked Jonathan from KBZ that can I have an updated one. So he bought last night for me, and I tried to wear it this morning. It was too small. So I was going to impress Serge that appreciate so much, and it actually really tribute to you and Dato for a great conference. In terms of Indonesia, one thing that we obviously the economic number speaks for itself. The young demography, the GDP growth, and all of the attentions of the world coming to Indonesia. One thing that Dao Su said, which is actually now happening in Indonesia, is over optimisms. The over optimisms basically cause the Indonesians to focus more on really bigger challenge, bigger thing, but they're not attending to the basic infrastructure. You've been to Jakarta. Mm-hmm. Basic infrastructure, but be it hard or soft infrastructure, has not been well attended. And I think people say that we are coming into BRICS, or it's going to be an iBRIC. However, we need to look at the basic fundamentals of Indonesia. When there's a recent poll by the Indonesian Chamber of Commerce and Industry, because only 70% of the actions for ASEAN Economic Community by 2015 is done. What is the readiness of Indonesian business when it comes to 2015? And actually 70% said they're not ready and they would want to have another 5 years. So that's really the basic feedback that we have from the business community, which is largely populated by the micro, small, medium enterprises. So much of the work, the actions, is also to empower this side of the sector. So Indonesia is large, it's growing. McKinsey just released a report that at the current trajectory, by 2030, Indonesia will be G7, the 7th largest economy of the world. And the areas of business expansions and opportunities will be in agricultural resources, consumer products and services. Everybody wants to own 3 or 4 Blackberries in Indonesia. They like to buy 2 or 3 motorcycles. That's why Hendrik's business is doing very well in Indonesia. So we have all the ingredients there. However, we need to look at also how to take leadership within the ASEAN platform. So the business side, they seems to be very reluctant. Although the growth number in the Philippines and other part of Southeast Asia is very promising, I see very little in terms of leadership of Indonesian companies going out. We are probably one of the very few that invest outside Indonesia in Myanmar, but we see bigger potentials going forward. So in the areas of infrastructures, in the areas of consumer products and services, tourism, I'm actually very surprised that based on the poll, tourism is quite low. But if we look at people-to-people relationship within ASEAN, that's really what ASEAN is all about. It's not really the economy because there's a 600 still actions to go. But if you look at sports, there's an ASEAN Basketball League that is now gaining momentum. There is soccer. Unfortunately, Indonesia has not been a leader there in the soccer department. We've been too busy with democracy, so much so that our soccer associations have now 2 or 3 chairmen due to this euphoria in the democracy. But in the areas of business, some ASEAN business platform, CIMB, of course Maybank also, but they have developed, this is a wrong company to mention here, but I don't know what CIMB is. It's probably some toothpaste or something. But we have a CIMB ASEAN Research Institute fellow here, and AirAsia, Asiata, shows a very good platform within ASEAN. So if you let the regulators, the bureaucrats, the politicians lead these transformations, I think we're in the wrong department. Let the business guys, people like Tengku Zafrul, people like Heinrich, lead these transformations, and I think we have, if you look at the survey, majority of us think that 2015 will not be achieved, and I think within the interest of the speech that Dao Su said, speed versus quality, we need to rethink whether 2015 is the right year to go, or which is with the interest of speed, or we want to see more quality in terms of the integration.
Mm-hmm. Thank you for this very illuminating account. My own impression from talking to Indonesian businessmen, first of all, they say, well, we're too busy with an opportunity at home. We don't have time to explore ASEAN opportunities. And secondly, they feel that whenever other ASEAN or investors in general come to Indonesia, they want to buy assets and they don't think about the quid pro quo. So I guess the question is, how can Indonesia be engaged and engage with other ASEAN members? How can we see more sort of quid pro quo, where we just had the Melinda deal, where the Lion Air gets rights to fly from Malaysia. Perhaps we need more focus on how to help Indonesian companies also to take advantage of ASEAN opportunities and turn them into sort of national champions.
Yeah, I think competitions will have something to do with it. If AirAsia's Tony Fernandez is not relocating to Jakarta and creating such a huge scene in Jakarta, I don't think Lion Air would be interested to go outside Indonesia, because the growth is 60%, and they are putting the largest order of Boeing ever being put in place in the history to Lion Air. So now they're seeing, okay, we're now, there's a competitions coming in, so we need to go out and compete out there. Indofood, they're happy selling Indomie to 250 million Indonesians, but if there is any strong brand that comes to Indonesia, they would run for the money. So I think competitions would be one thing, and the other thing would be, I guess, the free flow of opportunities. Businessmen tend to be very, very optimistic in nature. So we're a perennial optimist. But once our home market is being sort of like threatened, we'll have a basic, really basic instinct to go out and compete also outside. Sure.